Do you regret saying that President Biden had a mental acuity? He had a sharpness to him. You said that up until July of last year.
I said what I believe to be true.
And you think he was as sharp as you?
I said I had not seen decline. And I hadn't at that point.
Somebody come walk in there and put her in handcuffs. And look at this. Look at the body language and look at that freeze up in shock and how she responded. Look. Walk in there and put Pocahontas in handcuffs. Put your hands behind your back. This woman also needs to be fully audited, investigated, and thrown in jail. I'm just saying.
I said what I believe to be true.
And you think he was as sharp as you?
Look. Did you see that? Did y'all see that? Oh, man. Come put Pocahontas in jail. Put Pocahontas in jail. Prison.
I said I had not seen decline. And I hadn't at that point.
You did not see any decline from 2024 Joe Biden to 2021 Joe Biden?
Not when I said that. You know, the thing is, he was sharp. He was on his feet. I saw him. Live event. I had meetings with him a couple of times.
Senator, on his feet is not praise. He can speak in sentences is not praise.
All right, fair enough.
You just can't make this up. And this is not even the biggest point of today's video. I just have to throw this in there because I want y'all to see of what just broke the internet earlier.
Fair enough. Look.
You just can't make this up.
The question is, what are we going to do now?
Okay.
Uncertainty in the market. Why do you think the Democratic Party has such a low approval rating? I would think this would be an opportunity for Democrats to rise and present an alternative, but it doesn't seem like that's happening. And as you know, your party's approval ratings are historically low.
You know, look, the way I look at this is that Donald Trump has created a lot of chaos.
Ma'am, what this is what I don't get with Democrats here. I just don't get it with these hypocrites, these demon rats. We asked you a question, ma'am. Brother Tapper, and y'all, I know how y'all feel about Brother Tapper and CNN, but we might have to give him just a little bit of credit. They say, Rick, no, we're not. No, we're not going to do it, Rick, sir. We might have to give Brother Tapper a 0.5. I'm just saying. You know, holding her to the fire. Calling her out live on television. We might have to give him 0.5, a tiny bit of credit. They say, Rick, sir, I don't know if we can do it. I don't know if it's in the budget. But, man, we asked you about your party, not Donald Trump. Not the president of the United States, the 47th president, who won every single swing state, who won the popular vote, who won in a landslide. There was a mandate for change. People wanted change. We're not worried about President Trump, man. We asked you a question. Can you answer it? It's all Trump bad, Trump causing chaos, Trump's the bad orange man, Trump this, Trump that. You know, this is why they continue to nosedive. This is why the Democrat Party is where it's at right now. And why people have walked away, why people won't ever vote for a Democrat again. Let's jump into today's video. It just gets worse.
Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey. Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. When you try to kill our we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Y'all know I'm gonna keep it real. Y'all know I'm. Shout out to them beautiful patriots around the world. What's going on, family? I hope everybody is blessed, well, healthy, and that nothing but the best is going on in all you beautiful people's life. One love to the human race. I love y'all, man. Cheers. I got that 40 in that gin. I ain't lying to you. I got that shine on me. Yeah. Do a little bit of yak in there. No, I'm just kidding, y'all. I don't do that now. Gotta give me some of them, man. We getting into CNN. Pocahontas. She has no credibility. He should have asked her a couple other questions. Asked about a lot of corruption that's been going on. That's what we should have asked her about. Pocahontas. You know. But now, y'all, this got my cayenne pepper and vitamins and all kind of stuff in there. Don't y'all be quiet now. I told you.
Its decision to slap tariffs on.
We got hit upside the head. But we started tattling and snitching on our family members now. Mama used to hit us upside the head with the first thing she saw. A bottle, a pan, a stitching cord, a stick. If y'all got caught snitching. If you got caught tattling on your brother or sister. I love y'all, man. Let's get into this, though. Let me stop playing around. This is some serious stuff, man. They ought to walked on set and put her hands behind her back and arrested her right on set. That's what I think. They say, Rick, sir, it ain't gonna happen. But that's what I'm saying. That's me. That's my opinion. That's what I advocate for. I advocate for people to be exposed, caught, fired, sued, thrown in jail. Handcuffs. DW40 on them handcuffs. Order them handcuffs up. Make them brand new. Make those handcuffs brand new. And I like the 1990, the 90s pair of handcuffs. They're way better than these new ones we got in this new 2000s era. Yeah.
Biden's decision to slap tariffs on Chinese goods because he was, in your words, quote, standing up for American workers, unquote. So specifically on China, can you detail what exactly you would be doing differently than President Trump?
Oh boy, this is gonna be good.
Well, let's keep in mind, tariffs can be an important tool in the toolbox when used in targeted ways. But right now what we've got is chaos and corruption. Donald Trump has imposed a tariff on everyone, everywhere, on all products. That's the 10% tariff. Of course, it was much higher earlier in the week. And now in this trade war with China that basically tries to shut down all trade. And then, right out in plain view, as if the chaos weren't enough, he adds a nice layer of corruption for everyone to see, and that is a special deal for his CEO donor, and that is an exception to the China deal for iPhones. Look, here's the problem. You can't get an economy.
This lady even know about the event. They just be talking, man. That's one thing that kill me about these Democrats, man. And Massachusetts ought to be ashamed of itself. She know about the investments in the back end plan. I'll let her speak though.
Strong and moving forward when it's loaded with chaos and corruption. Investors will not invest in the United States when Donald Trump is playing red light, green light with tariffs and saying, oh, and for my special donors, you get a special exception. People make
after they already invested
investment decisions that are years into the future. If they're going to build a factory or they're going to rehab an old factory or buy a bunch of new tools. And right now with Donald Trump, nobody can figure out what the rules will be 5 days from now, much less 5 years from now. That's a real hit to our economy and to developing more manufacturing here in the United States.
Why does Tapper always look like at every Democrat that comes on set that, man, I don't know about this party anymore. I think everybody needs to go see a therapist or these people need help. Why does somebody please tell me in the comments, why does Jake Tapper always look like? Is it just me? Am I the only one seeing that? I feel like every time we do a video with CNN and Tapper's interviewing one of these Democrats, he's always worried sick. Let me know, y'all.
So on Wednesday, the president announced a pause on most of the tariffs a 90-day pause, except for the ones on China and except for the 10% across the board. You called for the SEC to investigate whether President Trump intentionally manipulated the market or covered for insider trading when he told Americans on Truth Social and in the Oval Office that they should go invest in the stock market before he announced that pause on the tariffs, and the market soared afterwards. Have you seen any actual evidence that insider trading was going on instead of the just general advice he gave for people to invest?
Well, there are people who have looked at what happened to purchases and to calls just before he made that announcement that caused the stock market to skyrocket. But let me be clear with the back and forth here. That's what investigations are for. And it's entirely appropriate to have an investigation to make sure that Donald Trump, Donald Trump's family, Donald Trump's inner circle didn't get advance information and trade on that information. This is just, this is how the stock market works in order to make sure on a consistent basis that nobody's trading on inside information. And by the way, Jake, the same thing should apply to Congress. And that is, we should have a rule that no one in
She really
Congress
just say that?
can trade in any individual stocks. No senator, no representative. I've had that bill for a long time. It's got a lot of support. In fact, it's got some bipartisan support. I think now would be a good time to get
Y'all walk on set and just put this lady in handcuffs, man.
across the finish line and get our representatives out of the business of trading in individual stocks. The American people should never have to wonder when the president, when his cabinet, when members of Congress are making a decision, whether it's for the good of the country or for the good of their own bank account.
Let me ask you a larger philosophical question, because the Democratic Party, obviously not in a great place right now. Democrats seem divided on whether to try to allow room for the belief that tariffs, as you say, targeted tariffs can be a good thing, or whether to reject all of Trump's tariffs outright. We saw this play out with Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer making headlines when she visited the White House. She praised tariffs as a useful tool. Take a listen.
I understand the motivation behind the tariffs. And I can tell you, here's where President Trump and I do agree. We do need to make more stuff in America. More cars and chips. More steel and ships. We do need fair trade.
This game, you're not ready for it.
Is there room for that kind of nuanced discussion right now, or do you think what she said was a mistake?
You know, I want to put it slightly differently, and that is, it is a mistake to have the President of the United States out there just playing red light, green light, and saying, oh, this morning I woke up and think the tariffs should be this big. Now I think they should be this big. Now I think they should be somewhere else. And I got to say, saying, well, I will continue to make those decisions, and I'm going to hold off on these tariffs for 90 days. That doesn't put the economy in a better place. That doesn't put investors in a better place. Congress has a job right now, and that is to step up and take this authority away from Donald Trump. He has proven how he will use it, but remember, the statute that he's now using starts with a declaration of emergency. And in that same statute, Congress has the responsibility to decide, is it really an emergency or not? Are we really in an emergency with Belgium right now? Are we really in an emergency with South Korea? Congress can say, no, there's no emergency. It's a resolution. And if we do that, it takes Donald Trump back to the trade as we had it before. And tariffs are then decided with Congress having an important say in it. And that's an important signal to the rest of the world. Right now, it's a no curbs on Donald Trump, and that means chaos and corruption. We have an opportunity in Congress to vote that down and to say, no, we are going to use tariffs in a far more targeted way. We're sure not headed in the direction he wants to go. All of the Democrats are ready to support that. But we got to get the Republicans, or at least some of the Republicans, on board to make that happen. They've got to decide, is their job just to suck up to Donald Trump, or is their job to stand up for the American people?
JP Morgan says the odds of a recession are now 50-50. Goldman Sachs puts the odds at 45%. You were one of the loudest voices warning about the 2008 financial crisis. What do you think the likelihood of a recession is right now?
Well, it's the economists, it's Wall Street are all telling us there's a problem, and the warning lights are flashing red. You know, though, Jake, the part I remember from 2008 is what a recession means. Family by family, small business by small business. You know, I watched back in 2008 when 10 million people lost their homes, when millions of people lost their jobs, when millions of people saw their savings wiped out. I also watched when little tiny businesses got turned upside down and never had a chance.
You did Pocahontas, did you?
Recessions are something that people like to talk about. They talk about the stock market. They talk about the big numbers that move. But the reality is they are experienced one family, one small business at a time, and they are hard to recover from. So I am worried that the continued chaos, the continued corruption, the fact that Donald Trump is just out there shooting wildly,
y'all,
pushing our economy in the wrong direction, and the people who are going to feel it most are not the wealthy traders. It's going to be the families and the small businesses who get wiped out.
So given all the chaos, given the fact that the president's approval ratings are declining, given all the uncertainty in the market, why do you think the Democratic Party has such a low approval rating? I would think this would be an opportunity for Democrats to rise and present an alternative, but it doesn't seem like that's happening. And as you know, your party's approval ratings are historically low.
You know, look, the way I look at this is that Donald Trump has created a lot of chaos in his first 3 months in Washington.
Boy.
Remember, he started out, made the promise that on day one, he would lower prices
Here we
for
go.
American families.
Just turn it off. Turn the TV off. Turn it off. Just turn it off. On day one. And what did he do day one? You think everything especially when it comes to the economy. Anybody with any kind of common sense know how the economy works. Ma'am, you are a senator. But I told y'all, man, what it is with CNN. Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump's failing, Trump's chaos, Trump is destroying America. Trump. He said on day one, it's just the same crap, man. It's the same stuff. They ought to walk on set and put this lady in handcuffs, man. Pocahontas.
Families, those were his words on day one. By the time he gets 2 months in and he's told that his tariff plans will increase costs, his answer was he couldn't care less. I think that the Democrats have really coalesced around the central message. Our job is to fight to lower those costs for American families.
No, it is not. We tired of hearing the same thing over and over and over. Y'all said that, then what y'all do? And I'll let y'all know what I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna say it, man. I'm not gonna repeat myself 100 times, man. We know exactly what they did, man. Ran this thing into the ground. Lied. They told you, this is gonna do this. This is gonna cause inflation. And they still signed off on it. They still went ahead and gave it a green light. Didn't know who the hell was running the country. That fella, they walked him around. He didn't know where the hell he was at. Half the time he was on vacation or asleep. And like you see in the beginning of this video, this lady said he was as sharp as a tack.
Our job is to fight against a Republican Party that not only doesn't care about those families, but is working hard right now while all this chaos is going on to give more tax cuts to billionaires and billionaire corporations, and to cut access to Social Security, to cut veterans services.
Here we go.
To
Here
cut
we go.
health care for little babies and for seniors in nursing homes, to cut help for our public schools, so that
Just lies, fear mongering, misinformation. They don't want to tell the truth.
class sizes get bigger, so that little kids
Propaganda,
with special
man.
needs can't get an aid, so that after-school programs are canceled. Look, I think our secret super duper strategy is just tell the truth about what's going on. The American people will see.
Why can't you tell the truth? Why can't you tell? That's what the American people see. Why can't you tell the truth, man? I'm out of here, man. Let me know what y'all think of this, man. And Pocahontas. I'll catch y'all on the next one, family.